So the Cyenfin framework was introduced by Dave Snowden of IBM in 1999, and the word Cyenfin is the Welsh word for habitat. And it's really a framework for understanding what kind of a problem am I trying to solve, right? So some problems are pretty straightforward, or what you might call clear. Sometimes they're called simple problems. A clear problem, when I have a clear problem, the first thing I'm going to do is sense. I'm going to take in the facts. Then I'm going to categorize what type of a problem is this, and then I'm going to respond. And it's a very clear path. And so a good example of that is to bake a cake, right? You want a very simple recipe, or maybe a complex recipe, but nonetheless, there's a recipe. And if you follow the recipe, you will get the result that you're expecting to get. That's a clear problem. Some problems are a lot less clear. They are complicated. A complicated problem is one that you still go out and sense, you go and get the facts, but you have to do some deep analysis. And in fact, probably the ordinary person might not be able to solve it. You might need to be an expert. So once you're an expert and you do your analysis, you can respond. So an example, not like bake a cake, would be build a rocket. We're going to need to get some professionals, some experts who know what they're doing, and they can go solve complicated problems. Another kind of problem is a chaotic problem. Here, you don't want to sense first, you want to act. Then you sense and figure out what's going on, and then you respond again. And so this is put out a fire. Do not stand there watching, collecting information, and deciding what the best response to do is. Go out there, do what you can, then step back and figure out if you did it well or not, and how else you need to respond. Okay, so we've got bake a cake, build a rocket, put out a fire, and up here we have this set of problems, which is the ones that we're going to really be delving into, which are complex problems. So complex problem, the first thing you want to do is actually prototype. Just try it. Try something out. You're going to put something together, prototype, then you're going to sense, and then you're going to respond. And so this one is raise a child. The only way to know if the action that you took was the right action is after the fact. You take an action, you do the best that you can, you make choices on how to address the issue in front of you, whether that's punishment or reward or whatever it might be. And then you're like, oops, bad call. Or, oh, well, I got the result I wanted. And then you do it all over again. It's not a recipe. You can't bring this, you don't want to bring clear problem-solving approaches to complex problems. Why I want to introduce this is I think more often than not, when it comes to finance and the economy, we think it lives in the domain of complicated. We think that we need a bunch of experts who understand finance and the economy to do a lot of analysis, and then they'll figure out exactly how to solve the problem and get the results that they expect. When in fact, we know just from reading the news and watching Treasury or inflation or whatever it might be, everybody is actually trying to perturb a complex system. So when it's complex, it's perturbation. You disturb it with some sort of a prototype. You may think you're acting some other way, but what you're getting, because it's a complex adaptive system, is a result that was actually unpredictable because of all the self-organization of the interrelated elements that are involved in the economy. And so we need to take a complex problem-solving approach to finance and the economy.